Sit back and throw one back with your pinky in the air and a middle finger to the world, and join me, the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, as we look back on this day in pro wrestling history. But before we do, put that drink down, like, share, and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get our wrestling history on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is August 26th, and we're going to start off as we always do on a positive note. That's right, these are your pro wrestling birthdays. 1931, the creator of the Brainbuster, Killer Carl Cox. 1965, Texas's own Bobby Duncum Jr. 1981, oh Canada, it's Petey Williams. And we're going to keep that positivity train a-rolling. That's right, these are your pro wrestling history highlights for August 26th. A super short trip in the Wayback Machine today as we start in 1975. Blackjack Lanza and Blackjack Mulligan defeat Irish Pat Barrett and Dominic DeNucci for the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Tag Team titles in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Barrett was substituting for Victor Riviera, who had left the company while holding the belts with DeNucci. Jumping ahead 4 years to 1979, Harley Race defeats Dusty Rhodes for the NWA World Heavyweight title in Orlando, Florida. Race begins his third run with the belt, ending Rhodes' first world title reign after only 5 days. Leapfrogging over the 80s and going straight to 1991, the WWE holds their SummerSlam pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Billed as the match made in heaven, the match made in hell, the show actually ended with the wedding of Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. The wedding went off without an incident, and the WWF gave their viewers a happy ending to the show, instead choosing to do an angle with Jake Roberts and Savage at the wedding reception, which would air on television the following week. The main event match saw Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior defeat Sergeant Slaughter, General Adnan, and Colonel Mustafa in a handicap match with Sid Justice, aka Vicious, as special referee. Sticking in 1991, the Dragon Master defeats Jerry Lawler for the USWA Unified Heavyweight title in Memphis, Tennessee, ending Lawler's 9th reign of 5,675 with that belt. And last but not least, 1999, ECW held a TV taping for the second edition of ECW on TNN at the Elks Lodge in Queens, New York, aka the Madhouse of Extreme. At this event, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley defeated Spike Dudley and Balls Mahoney to win the ECW World Tag Team Championships for an 8th time, shocking the fans since it was known that this was the final ECW event for the Dudleys before going to the WWF. However, at the end of the show, the Dudleys came back out and goaded and injured Tommy Dreamer into fighting them. Raven, making his return to the company after leaving for WCW, ran to the ring and won the belts with his longtime rival Dreamer. After the TV cameras were off, the fans chanted Dudleyville and gave Bubba Ray and Devon a standing ovation as a farewell. Those were your short but sweet pro wrestling history highlights for August 26th. I'm the eclectic gentleman Stephen Watts, and we'll see you tomorrow.